everyone, welcome back to the Wild Digest. I'm Scott. It's been a few weeks, and a heartfelt apology for that. There's really no excuse. I did warn you in a previous ancient history, that I was going to be extraordinarily busy over the next few weeks, and I am still very, very busy. But since that video, a couple of fun things have happened. I did attend DunDraCon 49, which is a role-playing game convention. I mean, I say role-playing game convention. It started exclusively as a role-playing game convention, but like most gaming conventions, they also welcome board games and LARPs and minis and war games and the whole gamut. So I was up there a few weeks ago. Gosh, it's just funny how time flies. There was a great time. It was held in the Bay Area in Santa Clara, California, which is just on the edge of San Jose. So if any of those names mean anything to you. The journey up was eventful, which is wild because normally it's a very smooth drive. It's only about a 5.5 hour drive for the most part. And there's one wonderful stretch where you are riding along reservoirs, and there are hills and mountains around you and forests and all this kind of thing. You see elk wandering in the fields. And it's a really, really, really fun, picturesque journey. And normally, it's uneventful. But this year, as we were coming down, and it's the 152 is the particular stretch of road here in California. There was it's normally a divided highway. But at one point, it narrows down to just being a 2-lane. And I was racing along there, and since most people are driving at 65, 70 in that area, you see where this is going. And somebody coming towards me in the other lane decided, despite the speeds, that it was a great idea to make a U-turn in the middle of the road right in front of me. So I slammed on my brakes. I drive a Mini Clubman. So it's a small car, thankfully. Slammed on my brakes, but I was not slowing down enough. And it was either I make a rash decision or I just plow right into the side of this big Jeep SUV. And I made a rash decision, but it was the right one. And I turned to the right, went off the road. And thankfully, there wasn't a crazy embankment or a drop or a pit or a drainage ditch or anything like that. There was just a slight hill on the side. So I went off the road, drove up on the side ever so slightly, and then brought the car back down onto the shoulder. No collision. No significant damage, no damage really at all, except for the alignment is a little out of whack. I got to get that adjusted at some point, but it's super minor. I mean, if you hit a curb by mistake driving out of a parking lot, you may have knocked your car out of alignment as much as I did. It's just ever so slightly off. No collision. We didn't exchange insurance cards. I did reprimand him a bit. People who were coming up behind me did slow down to make sure I was okay. Everybody who came up was like, what the F was that guy doing? And of course I said, I have no clue. And he told me that he was making a turn because his passenger had left something behind. Like there was no other way to do that? Okay, whatever. Anyway, enough about that. And one little aside. Of course, I was on my way up to this convention. And the first thought going through my head as I'm about to plow into the side of this vehicle is not, oh, I don't want to get injured. Oh, I don't want to destroy my car. It was, oh, I don't want to screw up DunDraCon because I didn't want to ruin the convention. You know, priorities. Anyway, but the convention itself was fantastic. This con brings in about 2,000, I think, people. Great events. Their scheduling system could use an overhaul. It's pretty outdated. It works, but one of the problems with it is that when you are signing up for events, you really don't know whether or not you're in an event until sometimes as early as like an hour or as late as an hour or two before the event starts. So if you go and check your phone on to check online because they post the results there, or you check the wall where they do printouts. If you didn't get into that event, you are probably not going to be doing anything for the next few hours because everything's going to be filled up. They have it feels like there's never enough events for the number of people who are attending, and inevitably people get screwed out of their seats for these various gaming events, and that's a shame. So hopefully they can work that out. I don't know if they have the space to add more gaming events, but that's their problem. We'll see where it goes. But this was my 4th time attending DunDraCon, and I will probably be there next year. It's a great event. It's intimate. I work the game auction, which is always a good time as well. And I pick up a few bargains here or there. This year, I only spent literally $8, $2 on one small game and $6 on another game, and that was it. There was some RPG stuff, role-playing game books and such, but I didn't indulge. But that was about it for the con. I did pick up a couple of things. Funnily enough, they're still in shrink wrap, but I thought, some of you are gamers, role-playing game fans, and I would share some of the things that I picked up from the con. There was a booth in the dealer's hall. I can't remember the name of the store. I wish they gave me a card, but it's MIA at the moment. But they had a rack, and it was buy one, get one free. And already the stuff that was on that rack was discounted. Boy, I got an itchy nose. I'm sorry. It's very windy today, so my allergies are all... Anyway, they had this buy one, get one free rack. And I looked through there and spotted a few cool things. And most of the stuff also was slight ding and dent. Very minor, though. And so it was already discounted. So you were buying discounted products and getting a freebie. How could I pass that up? So for the Pendragon role-playing game, which is the current iteration of the Pendragon role-playing game, the original one published by Chaosium came out in the 80s. There is a current one right now also being published by Chaosium, and I've been slowly acquiring the stuff for it. There are a few things I don't have yet. I do have the starter set and the core rule book. I think that's all I have right now, except for this item. So I did get the Gamemaster's Handbook, and this is normally $50. You can see the shrink is still on it. I haven't even pulled it off to read it. Normally it's $50 retail, and because there were minor little corner dings, they had it marked down to $30. So I got this, and then I also grabbed a book of maps, a spiral-bound book of game maps. I won't show you that. That's not that exciting. But that was pretty cool, and that was my freebie with $30 spent. The other book I got from DunDraCon, this was kind of amazing. Throughout the convention, on their Facebook page, they were running these little survey question and Q&A type things that would ultimately result in a raffle or a prize pull. And so you had to kind of keep an eye on their page throughout the convention. And every once in a while, this question would pop up, and it would be something like, so far, what is your favorite event of the con? Or post a picture from the convention of something you did, saw, whatever. And so one of those came up, and I did post a picture from one of my games, and I'll show you what the picture was. It was just a picture from my end of the table where I was running a Deadlands role-playing game. And I posted the picture, and I was one of the winners. I think it was, they were picking like 8 or 10 or 11, I don't remember what the number was, number of winners per question. So this was going on throughout the convention. So then it said, go to the prize vault to claim your prize. And I didn't know what I was going to get. I thought maybe I'd get a sticker or something, right? So I go down there. It's in the game library. And I said, hey, I won. Told them what my name was. They said, oh, just go ahead and take whatever you want from the prize vault. Well, the prize vault had brand new board games and role-playing games and all sorts of amazing stuff. And as I am a fan of Dungeon Crawl Classics, I could not pass this up. And this is, and again, it's in a shrink, this is the new Dragon Skin edition of Dungeon Crawl Classics. If you're familiar with the game, you know it is a vast tome, impressive book. This is $70 retail, and I got a free copy at the convention. So that was awesome too. So those were my two big game convention acquisitions that I wanted to share with you. Very happy to have them. Funny that they're both in shrink, but the DCC one probably will remain in shrink for a little while because I have a bunch of core rule books that I use, and I don't know, some of these I do collect. So, but the Pendragon book I'm sure I'll open up because my group wants to play that at some point. All right, so that's the con. Also, while we were up there, of course, I had to find a local bookshop for us to check out. I was up there with one of my best friends. And I discovered that San Jose, Old Town San Jose, has an old, well-established bookshop called, I think it's called Recycle Books. And I posted a short from the hotel room, sort of just showing you some of the books that I picked up, but I thought I would do that in a proper episode. So these were all books that I picked up at Recycle Books. Prices on these, I mean, some of them were like $5, but some of them were as low as like $2. So I'm very happy with some of the stuff I got here. I could have walked out of that store with armloads of books. It's a terrific store, and it's one of those old stores that has the creaky wooden floors and of course a cat, and a friendly cat, by the way, and but just shelves packed to the gills with books, and many of them were in beautiful condition. Some not so much, but they also had stuff like old, amazing story, not amazing, not really pulps, but analog science fiction magazines, Asimov, that kind of thing. Piles of those. I guess they did have some sort of 50s era Galaxy magazine and stuff like that. Big role-playing game selection. I didn't pick up anything out of that. Westerns, mysteries, I mean, every genre imaginable, just packed to the gills in this store. So if you're ever in San Jose, look up Recycle Books. You will not be disappointed. So I'll just kind of go quickly through the stack here from Recycle Books, and then I just have 3 others that I've picked up from Iliad, my favorite local bookshop, including one I picked up just yesterday for all of $1.50. So let me go through the books. I'll go through the Iliad books. And the only other thing I was going to talk about is the vintage collectible paperback collector show is coming up in, I want to say 10 days, like less than 2 weeks. And I really am going to make an effort to shoot some video of that. So that should be a fun episode, because that is an event I go to every year. It's only held once, and it is phenomenal. Great. Oh, actually, I won't go into, you know what? I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. I'm just going to tease it. I did grab a bookmark from Iliad. They have had some of these bookmarks on their shelf. Oh, come into focus, why don't you? So, wow, 46 big year. Anyway, you can't make that out. So yeah, and then if you look online, go to their website. This is all the list of all of the participating guests that are going to be signing. It's a pretty impressive lineup of people. And over the years, I mean, the first time I ever attended that particular show, Ray Bradbury was there. I think Harlan Ellison was there. Frederick Pohl was. I mean, it was like these. It was the last few years of some of these incredible authors who are no longer with us. But so just shows you how long that show's been going on. All right, let's get to the books. That's all you want to watch anyway. First up, and these are not in any particular order. This one is bagged because I've bagged all of this particular series, and you're going to see that most of these are in phenomenal condition. This one is like brand new. It's The Argonaut Affair by Simon Hawke. It's one of the Time Wars books. It's book 7. I have all but I think 3 of these now. So I've read 4, 5 maybe, and I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of the series. But I wanted to wait until I had all of them in hand. So I'm hoping at the collector's show in a couple weeks I will find the ones that are missing from my collection and pile them up. Right, next one is The Frankenstein Factory, a novel of the future by Edward Hawke. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but I actually had picked up another Edward Hawke book recently. I think I showed it in one of my more recent videos. I say recent, God, it really was like a month ago, wasn't it? Anyway, I believe this book features the same character as that other book. I think it's a recurring character. I may be completely wrong on this. I thought I read that somewhere. But anyway, this one looked pretty damn cool. The Frankenstein Factory. The Sin of Dr. Frankenstein. Anyway, well, we'll see how that is. I finally got my hands on a copy of Icerigger by Alan Dean Foster. A really nice condition copy of this. I've been wanting to read this trilogy for a long time, and I saw it. I think it was $3, something like that. Figured I might as well grab it so I can dive into it and read it. And well, let's just jump ahead. So I grabbed that one from Recycle Books, and then when I was at Iliad 2-3 weeks ago, I was able to get the other two in the trilogy. So I have the Deluge drivers and Mission to Moulokin or whatever it is. So the Deluge drivers, I suppose it is, all in very, very nice condition. So that is a complete trilogy acquired within a week and a half. Speaking of connected books, I have Ray Cummings, Tama of the Light Country. This may be another one that Jake has talked about. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like it might have been one of the ones that he mentioned. It could have even been in an Eebs video. I'm not sure. And then Tama, Princess of Mercury, which is I think this is the second one. There might be 3 of these. Post if you know the series. Wild Jack by John Christopher. I have another edition of this one. I just didn't have this particular edition. I'm a big John Christopher fan. If you don't know his work, he wrote the Tripods trilogy. I say trilogy. There are 4 books in it. He wrote a prequel book later in his life, which is just as good. But I really like his stuff. Most of it is juvenile. At the time they called it juvenile. It's basically young adult. But he also wrote a lot of adult fiction as well. And I have a pretty significant collection of John Christopher. It's funny because 2 of the British authors that I'm an enormous fan of, who are somewhat lesser known in certain circles, are John Christopher and John Wyndham. Now, I know everybody knows John Wyndham here, but outside of that, if I mention John Wyndham in public, a lot of people will stare at me sideways. So I have been collecting John Christopher books and John Wyndham books for a very, very long time, and I have a fairly good collection of both of their works. So that was a good one to find. A while back, I had listened to a podcast that talked about an ace double that was written by A. Bertram Chandler, and it was about the character John Grimes. Now, A. Bertram Chandler wrote about this character through several novels, and I guess you can follow his military career in space. From when he's like a cadet or whatever, all the way up to when he's a general or something like that. I've always wanted to read them, but I didn't necessarily want to track down all of the individual novels that were published over the years. I think some of them were actually published by Daw, but I did find this, which is book 1, The Road to the Rim and the Hard Way Up, A. Bertram Chandler. And this is introducing John Grimes, Adventures on the Rim of Space and the Edge of Time. Combined, it's basically two of the novels. I think it's 2 of the novels. Yeah, it's 2 of the novels. And the reason I grabbed just this one is because I wanted to sample them and see how they are, see if I like them. But they did have, I think, 5 of them on the shelf that were all sort of in this same, design and all from Ace, but much later printings, not the doubles. So this one is 1972, but originally copywritten 67. I think The Road to the Rim is 67. It says The Hard Way Up is 72, but it doesn't show a contemporary. Well, maybe this was 72. Anyway, so that's what I have. I got that A. Bertram Chandler book 1. So we'll see how that goes. Speaking of Ace and the older Aces, of course you see this book all the time. If you shop around looking at Aces, old Ace science fiction, inevitably you're going to see one of these little shorties. It's Poul Anderson's Starways, but this copy was in such gorgeous condition, I couldn't pass it up, and it was only, I think this one might have been 3, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, nice to have it on the shelf. Jumping ahead to the W's. I don't know. It's not in alphabetical order. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've been wanting to pick up more Dennis Wheatley stuff. He hugely prolific writer. Of course, he wrote horror and science fiction and mystery and all sorts of stuff. Lots of short stories too. But this was on the shelf at Recycle Books in San Jose in very, very nice condition. A little discoloration overall. Just feel like maybe it's just been sitting on a shelf or in a box for many, many years. But it's Dennis Wheatley's Star of Ill-omen, a science fiction story. It's kind of got a pretty great cover there. Yeah, there it goes. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't pass it up, especially for the condition that it was in. So I don't really have a lot of Dennis Wheatley, but what I have, I've enjoyed reading. So And then the last item I got from Recycle Books was one that, again, it pops up all the time. I've seen it in other book haul videos. It's a cool collection with a great freaking cover, but it's Contact. And so I know a lot of you have this, but you can see that it's a really, really incredible lineup of authors there. So some terrific, wow, that light, did I just go through a nuclear bomb? What the heck? Yeah, Murray Leinster, Howard Fast, Fritz Leiber, Clifford Simak, Ray Bradbury, Howard Koch again, Isaac Asimov, Robert Sheckley. I mean, just a terrific line of authors. And again, the main reason I grabbed it was just the condition was, I mean, it looks brand new. It looks like it just came off the shelf. So that one was definitely going to go home with me. So jumping ahead to the Iliad books, I said I was going to share 3 of the books that I picked up from them. I already did share 2 of them. I showed you the other 2 Alan Dean Foster Icerigger trilogy books that I got to complete that trilogy. Yesterday, I just happened to be in the neighborhood, popped in, really not looking for anything other than what was on my list, but I spotted a brand new DAW that a new DAW that I hadn't seen there before, meaning it had just been put up on the shelf. And it was this David J. Lake, The Gods of Xuma, or Barsoom Revisited. Overall, it's a very solid condition copy. I guess, again, the cover looks a little discolored, but maybe that's just the painting style. I'm not 100% sure who did this cover too. Let's see. Stand by. This is a Don Mates cover, and this is also really funny. I love this 2001 inspired probe that he's flying around in there. Open the pod bay doors, hell. Anyway, so yeah, I had to grab that. No idea if it's any good. I have 1 or 2 other David Lake books, so I think he was fairly prolific at some point. Tell me more about him. And that's it. Those are all the books, all the paperbacks I've picked up in recent weeks, as well as 2 big chonky role-playing game books I got from DunDraCon. I've told you about my own almost crashing in in a horrible driving incident, which was avoided, thank goodness. And that is about it for now. I have a few things that I am working on that I'm hoping to do to show you in the coming weeks, including probably one that's going to pop up very, very soon that may not be of interest necessarily to the book people out there, although there have been tie-in novels. This year is the 30th anniversary of the Deadlands role-playing game. If you've never heard of it, it's a role-playing game set in the Weird West, and it is published by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. It originally came out, as I say, 30 years ago at Gen Con 1996, and in this year they're celebrating it with a Kickstarter that's going right now. They're like $250,000 already, and like about a week and a week plus to go. And they're also doing a big special event, face-to-face special event in Arizona in October. And I'm going to be there as a special guest game master. But I was going to do a little bit of a video overview of my connection to Deadlands. I've written some stuff for it, and just tell you how I discovered it back in the day, because I was an early arrival as well. I found it very, very early on in its first edition and immediately jumped on board and had a great time with it. So there is a Deadlands video coming up soon. I did a neat little title sequence that I'll share with you then. And what else do I have? Oh, and I want to thank Jake. I keep, he's met Pulp Mortem all the time, but Jake has been doing his Rolling Shorties videos, and if you've not watched them, they're great. I really like what he's doing with them, and it's a fun little way to do a video with, I don't want to make this sound negative, fairly minimal effort, in the sense that it's a random selection. You read a short story, and then you do a sort of an overview or a review of it. I think it's great. I think more people should be doing stuff like that, because there's so many great short stories out there. So I am going to be doing something quite similar, inspired by his amazing work. And so I will be doing a Roll 'em and Read 'em video feature coming up as well, that I hope to drop in with occasionally. So I even did a title sequence for that that'll be coming up. So that is where we are standing. It has been a few weeks again, and I apologize for the gap, but I'll be popping on more often from time to time in the coming weeks. So stick around, keep your eyes peeled. great stuff a coming, I swear. I will see you all very, very soon. And once again, to all of my subscribers out there, my followers, I really appreciate that you're there enjoying this silly little content that I do from time to time. So talk to y'all later.